welcome back to this mini series on the 4 big objections that keep us as women in senior leadership from fully answering the call to more. The call to more impact, more influence, more difference making, more fulfillment, all of the mores, right? If you've been experiencing waking up to a realization that there's more for you to be, more for you to do, more for you to create, to experience, to express as a woman and a leader and a change maker, then this is a series for you. If you haven't caught up on the other two, then you can go back and do them. I'm looking at the 4 objections, and on day 1 we looked at the intimidation of a big vision that can sometimes hold us back in our tracks. Day 2, we looked at being too busy, being far too busy, spinning so many plates that you just don't have room to concentrate on your growth and development. You don't have room to take on anymore. And I'm wondering how these are landing for you. I'd love to know, like, when you answer the questions or you journal around them or you spend time thinking about these objections and really exploring whether or not they apply to you. I'd love to know what you're thinking around them. So please hit reply on any of these videos and just let me know your thoughts. Today, I'm excited about sharing with you number 3, objection number 3. I'm excited about this for more than one reason. Firstly, it so powerfully speaks to my own experience as a woman and a leader and a change maker. And the second thing is that I know that so many of us as women in senior leadership just don't know about this objection. So it's operating, but they have no awareness of it. And so I'm excited about bringing the awareness to you, exposing this objection, because it can be so sneaky and be hiding in plain sight. So, what is objection number 3? Well, it is this objection of I'm trying, but I'm trying, but. So what this could look like is that every year you experience, like a new Happy New Year time or birthday time, or even as you're going through the year and you experience that same old pattern that really gets on your nerves, or the same conflict that you keep coming in time and time again, or the same pattern that you keep repeating. And every time it happens, every time you hit the new year or the birthday or that same pattern, you say to yourself, oh, I'm gonna shift. I'm gonna make I'm gonna move. I can't. This is not enough for me. I want more. You come into contact with a desire for more, and you take the steps. You apply for the new role. You try the new tricks. You implement the new strategies, and you go on all the courses and you get the new certificates. You're really trying to move things along. You may even create some movement. You may even look like things are moving, but at the end of the day, when you look back, nothing much has changed. You might have gone to a new place or gotten a new role or started a new project, but nothing much has changed in the way that you're feeling. It's not scratching the itch. Is that what they say? It's not quenching the thirst for the more that you've been desiring. So you create the same year over and over again. The same you is showing up over and over again. You're trying new things, you're hungry for change, and you're experiencing senior leadership the same way over and over again. The shift that you really desire feels elusive, no matter how many strategies or how you try or learn, and how many skills you develop or how many goals you set yourself. Things still feel the same. So I've seen this at playing out in 1,000,001 ways. I've seen women who are experiencing recurring patterns of conflict. The same old problem keeps coming up repeatedly, not getting the role that you apply for, or being overlooked, like just series of overlooking. The people, like, you're in the place, you're doing the work, but people can't seem to see you. You're being undermined despite your positioning, or you find yourself just plodding along with just sort of mundane, plodding along year in, year out. Yeah, you've got prolonged plateaus. Sometimes it shows up where you just can do the job with your eyes closed. You're in such a comfort zone, and you're so so sick of the comfort zone, right? It's like understimulated. You're either understimulated or overstretched. So, and the other way that I've seen it showing up is catastrophe. So that every time you're about to make a big leap, something happens. Your husband loses his job, or you get your cat dies, or you get sick, or something happens to stop you from taking the leap, from taking the steps to making the move and creating the shift. And when this objection is in play, in your leadership experience, it can feel so demoralizing. I've seen women who ask themselves, when this keeps happening, they keep asking themselves, what is wrong with me? Why can't I do this? Why can't I make something new? Why can't I create this shift? I've seen women getting really angry and frustrated about the external forces that are at play. And I've seen some women who just give up. They just lose enthusiasm, or they just stop trying, or they get really caught up in the blame game, like point into things outside of themselves as to why their life and their leadership isn't progressing the way that they want to. And the other way that I've seen this show up is just settling. When women tell themselves, "Oh, it's not so bad here. I'll settle here. I'll do my time till I retire, or I've only got another 10 years left, before I can start drawing my pension," just settling. But here's the truth. Almost invariably, on top of the very real external challenges that are seemingly holding us back, on top of the blocks and the barriers that seem to be standing in our way, and I must say that those aren't not true. The truth is, there are a lots of things happening externally to hold women back, right? But they're not more powerful than when you hold yourself back. Now, I know this can be a really tough pill to swallow, that I'm suggesting that you're holding yourself back, that I know it's easier to want to think about how that culture or those people or that leadership team aren't embracing you or aren't letting you go. But you see, it's critical that we get to see if this objection is operating in our leadership, because oftentimes, even though there are all these external things, the biggest thing that's stopping us is us. You are getting in your own way. Now, I know that if you're trying to make a move and you're doing all the things, then this can be a pretty tough pill to swallow. But hear me out. The truth is that most of us are unconsciously operating with an outdated internal system, with an outdated internal strategies. We've learned to overachieve, we've learned to overperform, we've learned to overplease or to stay on guard and to keep ourselves safe in leadership, right? And in a way, that's worked for us. We've established brilliant survival tools, and they've really helped us to rise in systems that, let's face it, weren't really made for us. But now, these systems that used to work for us, now they're running the show in ways that we don't even realize. Now they are working to keep us at the level where we're genuinely ready to move on from. And this holding back is happening largely in an unconscious way. It's like becoming our default mode. Our default mode is to hold ourselves back. I love the book The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. I don't know if you've read it, but Gay Hendricks, his book is globally acclaimed. It's called The Big Leap. And he calls this, what I'm describing to you right now, as the upper limit problem. He describes it like a thermostat. He says that it's an internal, often unconscious ceiling that we place on how much success, how much love, how much visibility, how much influence, how much joy we are allowed to have before we actively begin sabotaging it. He explains that old programming that's we've picked up from our childhood or from, from other early experiences. These experiences create an inner thermostat within us that limit how big or how brilliant that we're comfortable with being, how big and how brilliant we're going to allow ourselves to become. And the way that I have come to understand this is that your identity, your sense of self, is a powerful creative force that is governing your experience in leadership and life. That the way that you see yourself, the way that you think about yourself, the way that your self-concept is governing how well you do, how far you go, what decisions you make in leadership and life. This is really critical to understand. It really matters who you think you are, who you think, how you think of yourself, and who you think you are, even if there's only one you. So think about the you that you see in the mirror. When you look at yourself in the mirror, like, this is you, like you're seeing a reflection of you. But I want you to consider that within you there's multiple energetic identities inside of you. There's more than one you. So you might be looking at you, knowing you, thinking of you, but inside there's more than one level of you. There are multiple yous, multiple energetic identities. For simplicity's sake, for this conversation, I want to just talk about the two versions of you that I'm pretty sure exist, okay? The first one is what I call your little leader, your little leader. And that's the part of you with the programmed mind, the part of you that was really shaped and raised up and conditioned by the world that you grew up in. So it's the you that went through all that you went through, survived all that you survived, experienced all you experienced, learned all you learned, and decided all that you decided. It's the you that is a sensual you that lives in the here and now. It's the you that was conditioned and programmed and raised in the world that we live in right now. And this little leader you really makes sense of her world and makes meaning of everything that's happening in her life and in her place of leadership through her senses. She, like your physical senses, you make sense of your world through your memories, through the decisions that you've made, the rules that you've lived by, your values, the dominant paradigms and the narratives about what is normal, what is real, how it's seen, the zeitgeist, the culture, how the culture sees things. So this little leader you makes sense of your world through these means. You feel your way, you see your way, you taste your way, you smell your way through. You remember, oh, I did that before, so I don't need to do that again, or I did that before and it worked, so I'm going to do it like that again. We use our memories, our decision making, our rules to navigate. Little leader is very led by these strategies. And we all have this little leader. And it's this little leader that's inadvertently running the show by default without even thinking about it. She's making the decision, she's calling the shots, she's thinking about what's next, she's deciding what will happen and will not happen. And what this means is that nothing is happening by accident. The way that you perceived, the way that you're perceived when you walk into a room and how you make sense when you get there, or how you choose to respond as a result of being there, like your behavior, what you do, how you respond. None of it is happening by accident, and it's not happening by itself. Inside, there's this complex, very well rehearsed, deeply established patterns of responding, patterns of creating outcomes. There, it's it's programmed. It's patterns. It's a way, your way of being in the world. But there is another you. And I call her your highness. She's divine. She's a divine you. She's your highest nature. She's the you that is sovereign. She is wealthy. She's made in the image and the likeness of God. She's one with God. She is connected with truth, and she's connected to love, and she's connected to wisdom and power. She's distinct. She is a unique expression of divine power. She's authority personified. And her purpose, her mission, her purpose in life is to rule and reign, to have leadership. Leadership is her mandate, it's her purpose. And this aspect of you, this highness, your highness is very different to your little leader. Your highness sees your world, sees everything that's happening around you, sees you and your place in the world very differently to the way that little leader sees you and your place in the world. Your highness sees things from her throne, from her place of power, from her authority. And where little leader sees fear, your highness sees from faith and love. Where little leader fends for herself, your highness is supremely supported. Where little leader is fighting and scrapping and hustling to survive, your highness comes from a place of thriving. Where your little leader is busy doing so that she can have things, so that she might look like she's a certain kind of somebody, well, your highness already knows that she's that certain kind of somebody. And it's from that knowing that she takes action. She acts and she moves from the place of this highness identity. And most of us, and I've discovered this for myself and for the women, and the all these years that I've been doing this work with women in senior leadership, I realize that most of us have no awareness of our I-ness. Most of us have never become conscious of the tension between our little leader with that slave girl mind, that disempowering thinking, and our queen, our highness, our sovereign nature, let alone made the decision to live and lead from her. Most of us don't know that she even exists, let alone decided to embrace her and to be her. But this has been my journey. When I began to wake up to the call on my life to be somebody, when I began to realize that I'm here to do really big and significant and important things, when I woke up to this call to make a powerful difference in the world of senior leadership and the world of business and the world of marketplace governance, I I it was incredible. When I realized that I'm here to lead a movement and make my mark, when I realized that I'm here to leave an indelible dent in the world through my influence and my leadership, it was awe-inspiring. And this realization really did fly in the face. It really challenged my little leader identity. I'm a black woman in a white man's world. I am facially disfigured in a world that has a lot to say about the standards of beauty. And there were very clear ideas about why people who look like me aren't beautiful. And also, I'm a woman of faith, a Christian woman, not some nominal churchgoer, but, just passionate about my spirituality, passionate about my relationship with God, a lover of Jesus with a spiritual practice and a biblical worldview. And that's me in the world where, it's religion phobic and it's secular. So I had plenty of inner conflict about my place in the world and about my suitability and about my acceptability and about their expectations for people like me and their limitations and that became my limitations. This tension between my highness and my little leader has been my journey. But what happened 25 years ago is that I had a massive, beautiful, spiritual encounter. I had a conversation. I met Jesus in this really powerful event. And I know that might sound really strange to you if you're not a Christian or if you're not particularly spiritual, but just bear with me. Stay with me for a bit, because I did have this. This was real to me. And the conversation that I had with this voice that I came to know as Jesus had just came to interrupt my trance-like blindness to the way that I knew myself. It just helped me to understand that I was somebody else. Like, his ideas challenged me to my core. It really set me on a path of self-discovery. And really, this relationship began to introduce me to my highness, and teach me how I was to be engaging with her. It was life changing. And I've been on this journey of trying to wrap my head around these profound truths, not only about me, but about us, about you, about every human being. Actually, we all have this potential for highness, and we all have this reality of little leader. And there is this journey that we're being invited on to close this gap. I've been growing in what I call sovereign intelligence now. So for the last 25 years, and I have been learning about how to take little leader, take the little me with the slave girl mind, and really remove her from the throne, remove her from the place of decision making about my life, move her from the leadership, the throne of the leadership that I show up in. I have taken her off the throne. I have learned how to step into my highness. I'm still on that journey. I'm still on the journey of embodying my highness. And that's what you must do too. If you are serious about answering the call, seeing what's possible through you, then you must grow in awareness and alignment to your highest you. You must master your sovereignty. You must embody your highness. I call this growing in spiritual intelligence, and it's my body of work, it's the work of my life. It really is the solution that I bring to everything that I do in working with women all around the world in senior leadership who are answering this call, who are waking up and answering this call to more. So it's the honor of my life and the work of my life to call you into your highness, to facilitate your ascension to your own throne, to help you to create a new relationship with that inner little leader of yours, that one with the slave girl mind, and to discover and embrace your and embody your highness. And ultimately, as you do this work of coming into oneness with yourself and really embracing the way that your highness can operate, then ultimately you shatter those upper limits and you begin to see that you can create limitless influence, limitless impact, and limitless results, success in your world. So I want to know how this is landing for you. Are you aware of your highness? Are you leading and living from her? Is your leadership reflective of her rule and her reign? Or are you experiencing upper limiting, like Gay Hendricks talked about? As usual, I really want to know how this is landing, what is happening for you as you listen. Do you recognize this objection working for you? And if you do, then the clue here is that we go together, that you were born to soar in senior leadership, and I was born to help you to grow in sovereign intelligence that's going to get you there. Let's speak soon. I'll be back tomorrow actually with the last objection that I want to talk about on this series. Okay, see you later.